Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HCW review show. This week, we are going to be reviewing night one of Royal Quest, which was in London, a New Japan show attended by our very own DP. How are you doing today, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad whatsoever. It's a nice morning. It's clear outside-ish, and yeah, excited to go through this show.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you it's very fresh outside, having walked the dog and whatnot this morning already. So yeah, got my jobs done around the house. Me and the good books for the day. Right. Well, without further ado, because obviously this was held over 2 nights in London, and we are going to review both nights on two separate videos, and we're hoping to get these sort of recorded around the same time. So um, we're going to get cracking on this one, and we'll leave it no more than I don't know a few minutes.
That's fair.
No,
Yeah.
I think these matches themselves last more than a few minutes. I was just joshing around, with the squash matches we get these days. When you go to a show like this and the matches are long, it's always good.
Hmm.
So no, no more joshing around. We'll jump straight into the first match of night one, which was Gabriel Kidd versus Dan Maloney.
Yeah. So before that, they were saying that I must mention because it's New Japan. Um, Obviously this was about 2 weeks ago. This show, and I think it was either the day before or day of. New Japan founder Inoki had passed away. So they held a minute's silence for him and then played his music as well, which was a nice touch considering how recent it was.
Yeah,
And I thought something that might have actually been saved for something in Japan rather than in London.
yeah.
But it's just a nice touch of him to do it then.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're having a show that you probably know is going to get released video on demand or whatnot, doing something like that, it's probably a good idea. Get it done as early as you can, and then do you want in Japan if that's what you want to do. And I'm assuming that's what they've done since. So,
Yeah. But yeah, as you
but
said,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
the first match was Gabriel Kidd and Dan Maloney, which is a nice little UK indie talent sort of showcase. So to start things off, we get a lock up, we get a lot of test of strength between the two of them. We get chops delivered to Kids. Kid comes up with a clothesline. Kid feints a dive to the outside before going for an actual tope onto Maloney. We get again, Kids is in control for most of this match as he hits more chops and shoulder blocks. We get a what I've written here as a picture perfect second rope moonsault. So that was from Kid onto Maloney on the outside. And he throws back in the ring for a 2 count. At this point, Maloney comes back with more strikes, more chops of his own, a headbutt, a double foot stomp. He hits a spear for 2. He then hits a spike power driver onto Kid for 2. We get more chops from Maloney, which have no effect. So this is like going into the whole like testosterone, adrenaline side of things, where they can't feel it. We then get a super kick from Maloney following that, with little effect, which is followed by a lariat from Kid, which gives him a bit of an advantage at this point. We get a sit out driver from Kid for a 2 count, and then we follow up with a pile driver from Kid for 3.
Kid wins.
Gabriel Kidd wins.
Very, very early on when you were describing that match, and you might have caught me laughing. If anyone goes back and sees the video, you might see me like trying not to laugh. It's because the first thing when you said kid, you didn't say kid, or it didn't sound like it to me. You said kids. So then all through the match, I like when you said kids is chopping, I imagine kids chopping this guy. Or when they deliver a pile driver, it's like he pile drives kids. And it's just like what yeah, and I couldn't like stop myself from laughing. It was the
Proper,
first time he said kid and it sounded like kids, and then
proper.
it ruined the rest of the match for me. We go into tag team action, I believe, next, which was Gideon Gray and Great O'Khan against Ricky Knight Jr. and Michael Oku.
That is correct. Yes. So first time team here of RKJ and Oku taking on United Empire's Great O'Khan and their chauffeur manager guy Gideon Gray.
He looks like the Demon Headmaster, I'll be honest.
So Okan and RKJ start things off. It's probably important to note that this match, Gideon is like he's a wrestler, but he's not a wrestler. If that makes sense.
Right.
So he's similar to like if I had to liken it something else like Bobby Heenan back in the day. Like someone who
like
is
take a bump and whatnot.
Yeah, like someone who is trained in wrestling but doesn't wrestle too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this match is mainly a handicap match for Okan. Where he fights both of them quite a lot. So we get into the actual scrap of things. We get RKJ fighting after an early advantage. RKJ tags in Oku. Oku attempts a half crab, which he's the master of, which doesn't work out. Oku hits a Hurricane Rana with another half crab, but Gideon plays distraction here, which causes him to break it. We get Okan, who is really getting a lot of applause and appreciation from the crowd. And he then proceeds to sit on Oku in the corner. Which isn't as weird as it sounds, but it's just what he does. We get Okan hitting a Mongolian chop. He has another one for 2 count. We get what I've written here as Okan tries to get Oku to kiss his boot. He's basically just like foot choking him. Okan hits a hip strike to gain control, and at this point he tags in Gideon. Gideon comes in, he's cocky, he attempts a suplex, which is instantly reversed, and Oku just reverses it and tags in RKJ. RKJ batters Gideon for a bit, is what I've written here. He works with Oku to take down both him and Okan when Okan comes in to break things up. RKJ lands a corner tope onto Gideon. RKJ hits a 450 and Oku hits a frog splash onto Gideon, but Okan breaks the pin up. Okan hits chops on both Oku and RKJ, but Oku takes out Okan with a crossbody, and RKJ hits his finisher, which I think is called the Island Driver. I could be wrong, but he finishes that off on Gideon for the 3 count.
It sounds like a fun match. So yeah, was it everything you wanted it to be?
Everything I expected it to be, yes.
Yeah. No, that's fair play. That's fair play. But yeah, so 2 good matches to start the show. Singles and a tag, followed up by another tag, and you'll have to forgive me on one of these names because there's a couple of ways it could be pronounced. I'm just going to go with what I think, and you can correct me. So it is Kanji and Jazzy Gabert.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then against Alex Windsor and Ava White.
That's the one. So this is, and I could be wrong here, but I believe this is the first women's match to ever take place in New Japan ring. No, it's not. Sorry, because of the Joshi Stardom stuff. Sorry, so it's not that. But this is like the first one, I guess, on British soil.
UK show.
Yeah. So this is for set up for the IWGP Women's Title Tournament match between Jazzy and Ava. Sorry. So they're fighting on night 2 in a singles match for the first round of the tournament. So this is like a preview with the Southside Women's Champion Kanji and the Rev Pro Women's Champion Windsor.
Yeah.
So this match, we get Kanji and Alex starting things off. They hit a few moves on each other back and forth. Then we get Ava who tags in and continues to work on Kanji. Kanji fights back but is caught off by Ava who takes her down with an axe kick on the apron. Jazzy tags in and she gets like the hot tag. She takes down both Ava and Windsor. We get a spinning back fist from Kanji on Ava. We get a powerbomb from Alex onto Kanji. We get Jazzy who tries a move but it backfires, and Alex lands a Meteora on her for 2. And then Kanji tags back in and hits a Fisherman's Buster. 3. Was hit by a Fisherman's Buster, sorry, for 3.
Nice. So it sets up well going into night 2 as well.
Yeah, precisely. It was Ava and Jazzy wasn't involved in the end of that match.
Yeah.
So Windsor had pinned Kanji.
Yeah.
So neither of them, have a loss going into their next match.
Yeah, where they've been physically pinned or anything like that. So
Yeah.
no, that's always good.
The only thing that
No.
I have to be mentioned about this is the match felt like it wasn't focused on the women in the tournament. Like Ava
Right.
and Jazzy were both in the tournament, but neither of them got much in ring time compared to Windsor and Kanji.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they're your champions, but at the same time, don't put them in the match if they're going to be the ones.
Yeah. Just like the bystanders in the match.
Kind of. Like they
Yeah.
you know, in normal New Japan fashion, they got in, got their spots in, but they were
Yeah.
it was sort of like do that, do this, tag out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No. Like watching a John Cena match. 5 moves of doom and out you go. Right, so we followed that up with more tag action, but this time 6-man tag action. So we had Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, and Tatsuya Naito against Dookie, El Desperado, and your favorite, Zack Sabre Jr.
hell yeah. So start things off with this match. This is very much a New Japan 6-man match
Mm-hmm.
in that everyone splits off to the outside. You know,
Yeah.
one on one, one on one, one on one.
Yeah.
Eventually, we get a settle where we get Hiromu by himself as Suzuki Gun, which is the other team, tag in and out regularly, just like beating down on Hiromu. We get Zack who locks in an arm trapped gator roll submission. A bit Hiromu tap, but Hiromu doesn't technically get to the ropes. Hiromu fights back against Zack with a Falcon Arrow. He tags in Sanada, who's taken on by Doki and Desperado, but he takes him out. We then get Sanada's main spot, say, where he does the Paradise Lock, which is just like he ties him up in a knot, basically, and leaves him there to just be stuck in a knot.
Yeah.
And no one breaks out of it. No one knows how to break out of it except Sanada and apparently the guy who taught him it. But so he does that to Doki and then does it to Desperado as well. And then him and Hiromu both like dropkick them both to break him out of it. Because for some reason, a dropkick to the back is what breaks it up. Which, wrestling.
yeah, I was going to say wrestling. Hello, everyone.
So yeah, we get finally the exchange we were all waiting for between Sanada and ZSJ, where these two just honestly these two are like perfect together. Like the amount of technical wrestling you get between these two is ridiculous. Even in something that's not a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
Sanada tries a Paradise Lock on Zack, but Zack knows about it and gets out of it. We get an exchange of roll-ups, so literally one, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
back and forth roll-ups.
Pretty much, yeah. So Zack locks Sanada in an Indian deathlock. Naito tries to stop this from happening, but Naito actually gets locked himself in an abdominal stretch. So Zack is doing both an Indian deathlock to Sanada and an abdominal stretch to Naito at the same time. Doki tags in. This is a bit later on. Doki tags in, and you get a satellite kick from Naito. Doki locks into the Doki Choki, which will pop about 10 people in Alt Crew. On Naito, who then reaches the ropes. We get what I've written here was a surprising amount of love for Doki, who is apparently a hit icon in the UK, which is something I never knew about, but yeah.
Fair.
So we get a series of lariats to Doki from LIJ. So all three of them just take turns in the corner, tagging in and lariat. Eventually we settle on Naito and Doki in the ring. Doki gets hit by Valentia, which is like a plant driver for Naito. And Naito hits Destino for the 3 count.
Did you have fun watching this match? I can. It sounds like it was a good match, and I can just imagine you watching ZSJ.
I'm more of an appreciator of the one-on-one matches with Zack.
Yeah.
I don't mind watching multi-man matches on TV.
Yeah.
In person, it's really hard to keep up with it all.
Yeah. There's that much happening. Like you said the first bit, they all split off outside the ring. Who'd you watch fight?
Yeah, exactly. We had
when you're there in
Sonada.
person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like at home, they give you the camera cups, don't they? So.
exactly, yeah. But like, I think by us it was Sonada and Desperado. They were by our section.
Sonada is a beautiful man, isn't he?
I guess. Like objectively, I guess so. Yes.
I mean, you've got to appreciate another man's beauty sometimes, and the guy's a good-looking guy.
Fair enough, I guess. I don't really have an opinion on that, to be honest.
Fair enough. Well, for anyone else who does, comment below and agree with me.
Or don't.
I mean, if you're going to be negative, just don't comment. No, I'm joking. But yeah, we followed that match with. There was a bit of a change to this match, I believe. So it should have been Okada and Ishii against Bad Dude Tito and Jonah, but there was a late change, and Jonah was replaced by Paige or Soraya's brother, Zack Knight.
That's correct. Yes. So Jonah couldn't be there because of the hurricane at the time. Hurricane.
I can't remember what the reason was. Yeah,
I think
he was stuck in Florida.
Yeah, was it Irma or something like that?
Oh no, it had some sort of ridiculous name where it just wasn't intimidating in the slightest. And I remember speaking about it somewhere else. It was like Hurricane Ian or something like that.
Hurricane Dave.
No, seriously, I'm not joking. I think it was Hurricane Ian.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, hurricane is still a hurricane, and you know, thoughts and wishes go out to anyone who was affected by it.
Yes, 100%.
But yes, as you say, Zack Knight replaced Jonah because of that. So we start things off with Okada and Tito, where I've written here, not much happens.
Yeah.
So it's literally just a case of them like popping the crowd and like it's them like Okada's like, "Hey," and Tito's like, "Hey, look at me." Hey.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that was to start off with. And then, as far as I'm aware, these two don't exchange any blows. They just tag out to Zack and Ishii. Right.
Yeah.
At this point, we get an exchange of strikes between Zack and Ishii. Ishii wins with a block tackle. Zack comes back with a drop kick. Tito tags in and nails Ishii with a body slam for 2. We get an exchange of strikes from the corner from both men between Zack and Tito onto Ishii. Zack tags in again and starts wailing on Ishii. He tags back to Tito, as I just said. Tito and Ishii engage in a suplex off, where neither man can hit the suplex until Ishii finally does hit a suplex. And then I've written here, Ishii tags in Okada! Exclamation mark. Okada hits a shoulder block on Tito. He attempts a move, but he's caught by Tito's kick and corner splash into a blue thunderbomb for 2 from Tito. We got a lot of crowd support for Okada because Okada is Okada.
Yeah.
Like if anyone had a claim to best bout machine besides Kenny, it'd be Okada.
I don't watch much New Japan, but it's not Kenny Omega.
Opinions.
Tito, that's a take.
Tito tags in Zack. We get Zack with the straight strikes on Okada. Okada comes back with his own. Zack hits a double axe handle on Okada. Okada tags out to Ishii, who is on fire and takes both Tito and Zack out. Zack hits a reverse atomic drop for a 2 count. But eventually Ishii hits the vertical drop brainbuster on Zack for the 3.
Did you enjoy this matchup then, with like Okada and everything involved, or would you prefer to see like a one-on-one type situation with Okada? I know we got one on night 2, but
I think for what it was alright. But yeah, Ishii gets the win over Zack here. I thought this was a good tag match. You could tell that there was something a bit missing because Jonah wasn't there. So having Zack Knight sort of felt a little underwhelming, and that's not to say at all that Zack didn't hold up as part of the match. He did really well considering it was very short term and short notice. It was absolutely like fine on his part. It just felt a little deflating, I guess, to not see Jonah.
Yeah, when yeah, when it's been advertised as Jonah for so the lateness of the change, like obviously Jonah got the big win over Okada in the G1, so everyone's like, yeah, they want to see that again. And then you get to the venue, maybe what was it, 24, 48 hours before you
Felt
found
like,
out?
yeah.
Yeah, and then whoever goes in there, unless you're like massive star, is going to find it hard to replace Jonah.
Yeah,
So
precisely.
no, fair play to Zach for doing it. The next match is an 8-man tag,
Yes.
and I'm probably going to butcher this name as well, but oh well. It's Hikuleo.
Hmm. That's fine. You fixed it. You fixed it. It's fine. It's not Hikalao.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's because there's a footballer called Rafa Leao, and it's pronounced. It looks pretty similar to that.
Fair enough.
So yeah, and then he's with Jado, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tamatonga, and then they take on the team, which is now funny to say because of what's happened recently. Gedo, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Jay White.
That's right. Yes. So we get a lot of crowd pandering from both sides. And then we settle on the former tag team partners, former tag champions, Gato and Jado fighting off. 5 stars. Which, if you don't know, these two are both like probably in their 50s.
Yeah.
Jado is considerably a lot slower than Gato, but neither of them are that particularly great in the ring nowadays.
Yeah, like watching Ric Flair's retirement match, basically.
A bit better than that, but yeah. But no, overall, my notes on this are very bare because there wasn't a break in between matches.
Right.
So this was 8 matches straight after one another.
Right. Okay.
So there was no break in between. So I was at this point no chance to calm down.
Yeah.
Like this was my calm down match, pretty much.
Yeah.
So my notes are very bare, but I've got here good guys attack the bad guys on the apron, and then the bad guys attack the good guys on the apron. While Jado are still in the ring. We get Jado, who's beaten up by all 4 members of Bullet Club. We get Hikuleo, who comes in with to attack Anderson, who uses his strength to overcome Anderson. We get Chance of Biscuits and Gravy aimed at Gallows, because he was, for those who are not in the know, he was Festus back in like, the mid-2000s.
Biscuits and Gravy!
Made me a man!
I love it.
So at this point, we get Jay White and Tamatonga who tag in. These two are going to be fighting, by the time I'm recording, have fought for the IWGP World Title at Declaration of Power. Tonga wins their exchange. We get a smooth exchange of holds between the two of them until White hits DDT. And I don't know what happened here, but my notes just completely go down the drain. And my next note is just the ending of the match, which is Tanahashi who hits a high fly flow on Gato for the 3.
Right. No, that's fair enough. Like you said, with it being a bit of a come down match because there was no break, it was probably going to happen at some point. When you have matches back to back all the way through, it's going to be hard to stay up, to stay concentrated, especially when you know what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Because we get the probably the best wrestler that the UK has ever produced, Will Ospreay, against Shota Umino.
That's Super Junior.
Yeah, so I'm just going to stick with Will Ospreay against Shota Umino.
That has hurt my soul immensely.
What you need in there, mate, is some adrenaline.
Of course. something indeed.
But yeah, so we move on to Will Ospreay against Shota Umino.
Yes, so this was the semi-main of the night. We get an exchange of strength spots between the two of them. We get a random chant from the UK crowd for Red Shoes, the referee, Shota's dad,
Love him.
because he's there and this is a UK crowd, so they're going to chant for
Yeah.
whoever they want, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're chant for the ring post next. Like, ring post. Let's go,
Yeah.
ring
No,
post.
it's like it's amazing that it happens in every company that has a show over here, that the crowd will do what they want.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Clash was exactly the same. The amount of heels that got cheered was ridiculous. Like, we love a bad guy.
Yeah. Exactly. Who don't?
Yeah.
But yeah. So we get into the main action of things again. We get a Hurricane Runner from Shota, followed by a low lariat. Osprey retaliates with a big boot. Both of them rallies for crowd support. And over here, the crowd is still split. They're still like 50-50 in both of them. We get a handspring insecurity from Osprey. We get a tope from Osprey. We get a lot of fast-paced action, which leads to a catch powerbomb from Osprey. Shota catches Osprey with a knee, but he's caught by a stun dog millionaire. Osprey attempts an Oz cutter, but he's caught by Shota's cutter. We then get a Spanish fly from Osprey. We get multiple knee strikes and elbow strikes from both men. We get an Oz cutter from Osprey for 2. We get a hidden blade attempt, which is caught by a backslide pin for 2. We get a Lion Magistral flash pin from Shota for 2. We get a reverse lifted DDT for 2. Shota hits a spinning neckbreaker for 2. We get a Liger bomb from Osprey for 2. At this point, Shota is down. He looks out, but he's not. He's down, but not fully out.
How kind of mellowed out.
You will not let that go, will you?
Nope.
So Osprey does this thing where he mounts Shota while he's front facing the ground, and he just nails endless strikes with forearm into the back of Shota's head, just endless, and then the ref stops the match.
Oh, nice. I suppose that's a good touch as well, because that's his son.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just like, stop beating my son up like this, please.
But yeah, Osprey wins via ref stoppage.
You don't see ref stoppages very much anymore, neither.
Not in wrestling, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. It's no. So good match though overall.
Very good match. I don't regret not writing much in the previous match because this had a lot to write down.
Yeah. No, it's I feel like most Osprey matches do this as well. Where they have there's so much going on, and you'll get it. Like you'll probably do the same with Zack Sabre Jr. matches that are singles. That you'll have a lot of notes for him as well, because they're both very, very good. So
thank you.
He's still like not as good as Osprey, but he's good. Main event of night one, which I'm sure you were very much looking forward to, because I would be. We have the IWGP Tag Team Championship on the line. FTR Aussie Open. Take it away.
So before I do you know the result for this match?
Yeah, I feel like I do.
Okay, fine. I was going to ask you for your prediction before I went into it, but
well, I'll just because I could be wrong, but I feel like I've seen FTR with the title still since this show happened.
Right, fair enough. Is this you're saying FTR then?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well,
but I could be wrong.
So to start things off, the first note I've written here is massive crowd support for both sides. So we get a lot of FTR chants, a lot of Aussie Open chants. At this point, I get really confused with names a lot because there's a lot of short names here. So we have Dax, Cash, Kyle, Mark. So we start off with Dax and Kyle. Dax tags out to Cash. We get chain wrestling between Kyle and Dax. We get a tag into Davis and Dax now. Dax's chest is now beat red at this point after several chops. We get more of an exchange of chops between Davis and Dax. At this point, I've noted that Davis's neck and shoulder is also beat red. So it's like you can see, like it looks quite bad actually. Like obviously the chest you see quite clearly, but like Davis's neck, like up here, is like beat red as well. Fletcher tags back in at this point, but he's taken down by a tag maneuver from FTR for 2. We get a lot of back and forth between these two teams. Multiple sentons from Davis onto Dax. We get a reverse superplex on Fletcher from Cash. Fletcher tags in and hits a brainbuster on Cash for 2. We get a hot tag to Dax. Dax hits a lot of jabs and roll-ups for 2. We get a Cash with an over-the-top breakup to prevent Davis from tagging in. And a German from Dax for 2. Davis eventually gets the tag anyway. Davis catapults Dax into a lighting rig on the outside. They're like the little barrier tower things. Davis hits an airplane spin on Dax, and then followed on by a driver as well. Don't know when this happened, but Dax is now bleeding. Like he's like proper bleeding, like as well. So we get an assisted spike power driver from FTR on Davis. But Fletcher breaks it up for 2. Dax and Fletcher fight over one of the tag belts. So Fletcher grabs the tag belt from the outside, getting ready to use it on one of them. But Dax catches him and they fight over the title. They do the whole back and forth thing, which results in, I think, Fletcher lets it go, which results in Dax swinging the title back. And that hits Cash. They then get Dax out of the ring and pin Cash, sorry. And that's a 2 count. Fletcher takes out Dax on the outside and hits a tag signature with Mark on Cash for 2. At this point, I've written down that Cash is somehow able to hold off both Aussie Open members, despite being like out on his feet. At some point, Davis gets busted open as well, so now Davis is now bleeding as well. I miss these spots where they were busted open. I don't know when it happened. Yeah. all the thing is, I was looking down the right side, looking up. Oh, he's bleeding now.
Yeah.
So we get dual sharpshooters on Aussie Open from FTR. They do the whole like hold the hand, don't tap sort of thing.
Yeah.
We get Kyle slaps Davis to prevent him from tapping, and then both of them reach the ropes at the same time. We get Davis who's now fired up and takes out Dax, even first of all prefer him to the outside. Osborne hit Cash with the big rig, which is FTR's tag finisher.
Yes.
And Cash is getting pinned by I think it was Davis. You know, we got 1, 2, kick out.
Yeah. Never gonna lose to your own finisher.
2.9, literally. Like last second it could be.
Yeah.
I've written it Ozzy Open in shock. Dax comes back in and takes out Kyle. And at this point, FTR hit the big rig on Davis for 3. This was holy. Like literally, my next note is holy.
Yeah. FTR do that to people, don't they?
Yeah.
And I mean, Aussie Open obviously play their part in that, but it's FTR matches are always bangers. Yeah. Always.
Banger after banger after banger.
Right, let's get him against Imperium. Come on, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
But no, so I'm going to assume match of the night.
Match of the night, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't see it being any other way. And as a show overall, did you enjoy night 1?
I enjoyed night 1, but I'll be at the same point during night 2 anyway. But this didn't feel like an important show for New Japan.
Yeah.
Like it was shown by the fact that they had like tag match.
Yeah, there wasn't many singles matches going on, was there?
There was only one anyway.
I feel like there was two.
No, there was one. Just Shota and
No, there was
Osprey.
two. And Gabriel Kidd and Dan Maloney.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I forgot about it.
You went to the show.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
No,
sorry, two.
but,
Yes.
Yes, right, okay. Yeah, so there was 2 singles matches on the show. There was 8 overall, so that means six of the matches
Or more than
tags.
that. Yeah.
Either two on each side, 3 on each side, 4 on each side. But it gets everyone on the show. So yeah, I mean, people got to see everyone they wanted to see on night 1, and then I feel like night 2 was. I've not looked at the card properly yet, but I feel like it was a little bit different. So we will touch on that on the next review. So remember to follow us on our Discord, on our YouTube channel, on all of our Twitters. You'll see our Twitters below that DP is so nicely presented for us. You'll get you'll get rates as well, which will be in the video description if you want to follow rate. I mean, it's up to you. It's all right. But yeah, just any likes, comments, subscriptions that you can give to us is very much appreciated. Follow us on Twitter at the HCW Show. Go over there. We post stuff all the time. We've got our UK Indy reviews going on as well at the moment, which there'll be more videos of that coming up in the future. And we're looking to secure interviews with up and coming UK talent. So yeah, join us on the next one. Thank you all for tuning in, and tune in for part 2. And it's bye from me and a bye from DP.